Joseph Pieper, a brilliant Catholic philosopher, wrote a little book called Leisure, the Basis of Culture. And what he argued in that book is that leisure and the time, because leisure comes from a word which means license. It's the permission to contemplate, to think. And contemplation and the idea of actually being alone. One of the things now with all these things, people don't get bored anymore because they just go on YouTube and watch videos, or they text somebody, or they don't have that downtime just to actually... Boredom is a very important part of human experience, because out of boredom comes great creativity. One of the things that Kierkegaard talks about is that we are becoming a culture of busyness. Everybody's busy. And he was talking about Denmark 200 years ago. You know, so think what he would think of today about our culture now. St. Thomas Aquinas said that every culture has to have certain peoples that all they do is contemplate. And every culture historically has had those people. And those people are very important people because they are the Socrateses of the culture. They're the gadflies. They are the people that challenge the whatever the politically correct views of existence are out there. Confucius, one of the great Confuci of China, said, when everybody says this is good, that is bad. If you don't have people challenging, if you don't have people questioning these things, and there's so many people that they will throw these pat responses. You're not against progress, are you? You can't be against progress, you know. Well, if you're lemmings and your progress is going over the cliff, do you really call that progress? You know, if we are committing social communitarian suicide as a people, as a species, what's happening to us as a people? And this is not even to get into the, what the Hindus would call the karmic effects of national behavior. James Madison, to quote not from a Hindu, but from a Christian founding father, said the sins of nations are visited upon those nations. So we don't even think about, as a nation, those things that we do to other people, how that comes back to haunt us. And how that affects us, because now if you even bring that up, you're un-American. So I want to know, why is it the founding fathers could criticize America and nobody else can? John Adams wrote to Thomas Jefferson, American chivalry is the most violent, base thing in existence. Right? When Daniel Shays rebelled in Massachusetts with the farmers that were overburdened by the complete breakdown of their currency. And these are men that fought in the Revolution with honor and distinction. When they had their rebellion, Jefferson said, it's good. We need a little reminder every once in a while. So it's good. I mean, he saw it as a good thing when people are actually angry and upset and react. This country's been so screwed in the last few years. It's been going on for a while, but this thing that happened on Wall Street, this bailout, if this was any other generation of Americans, you would have had a revolution in this country. You would have had a revolution. I'm not making that up. You can read the history of this country. The revolution, the first revolution in this country that was sparked by a Virginia Stamp Act, where they were charging a penny to get a license, a stamp license. If you went to get a marriage license or something, you had to pay a penny. That started the revolution, a tax of 1 penny. The income tax started in 1913, folks. Before that, Americans didn't pay income tax. And now you're paying 40% of your livelihood to a government that is so dysfunctional. All we're doing is enabling a bunch of really sick people. And then we wonder, what's going on in the country? What's going on? Really. But this is what's happening in this country. People are, we're sending all this money to Washington, and we've got a defense budget 9 times bigger than all other countries on the planet. That needs some serious questioning. Like, why do we need a defense budget that's 9 times? Well, there's people in Afghanistan that live in caves that are threatening our existence. This is the type, really. We've got a culture of people that have been so dumbed down through this educational process, because they're not given any time to think. They can't just sit back and think, because if you start thinking, thinking is dangerous. Thinking is a dangerous thing. But as Heidegger pointed out, thinking, the word think is related to the word thank. You know, that there's a powerful human need to think, because thinking is a way of thanking the one who gave you the gift of thought.